We are now live. It's official. Hello. I'll let you guys come on while I drink some of my matcha. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dee. Okay, so as usual, wow, my hair is doing something crazy. Can we make it less bright in here? It's bright. So, I am broadcasting here today from the Wing in New York City, which is a very cool place to be. With my trusty intern Leonie, who's trying to figure out how to do something with the lights, and it looks really complicated and futuristic. Anyway, so we just wanted to do a live stream and like, first of all, I wanted to get back on the horse because I haven't done this in a really long time. And obviously last week was a pretty big week. Releasing Moon was big. I have some pumpkin bread. Releasing the letter that I put out, that was really big for me. Thank you so much again for your incredible responses. I just, I know I kind of went off social media for a minute, but I was just so overwhelmed by the beauty, and I didn't want to take so much in that I couldn't feel it, I wanted to read your responses one by one, and I was just so touched. And, there's just so many of us in the same boat, and it sucks, but it's also really nice to know that we're all kind of in this thing together. And so I have some questions from you that you guys submitted before, and I thought that I would kind of address some of those, and then whoa. I think it went back to the way it was, but you did there's a middle one. Oh, that's better. That's better. Can you guys see me better? It feels like a little bit less intense. Okay, so there's a bunch of comments, and Leonie has organized them very sweetly according to feelings, tour, and moon. I think that I'd like to start with feelings, because that's always what I go to first. So there's a beautiful question, which is, how do you open yourself up again after being vulnerable and, as inevitably happens, being burned? Well, first of all, I guess I'd like to say that even though it can happen where you do get burned when you open up, it's not the necessary reaction. It's not the only way that things are going to go. A lot of times I find that when I truly open up, it's completely liberating. So one thing to realize is who you're opening up to and where they're at in their life, and realize that each person is on their own journey, and they're going through whatever they're going through, and sometimes we forget that because we're so wrapped up in our own pain, feeling alone in our own pain, but then sometimes it happens where you say something to someone that comes from a deep place of vulnerability in you, and they don't treat it very gently, and then it can make you want to just tuck yourself away like a little hermit crab. And I think it's very important to not let that kind of spiral go too far, because if you keep finding, you can look for anything in the world and find it. So if you're looking for people that are unsafe or people will burn you, then that's what you're going to attract over and over and over again. And I say, like, look to people that you do trust and reach out to them and tell them about what you're going through, and like choose to continue to open, choose to continue to move forward, and also like cultivate your own self-care so that you are internally strong enough to handle things, like no matter what someone else's reaction is. I hope that answered that. Let's see. How do you deal with random bursts of anxiety when you're out in public? I found myself struggling even more with this recently. At home I know how to feel safe, but when I'm out, everything gets blurry and I don't know how to make it stop. It's like I don't have control over my own self in these moments, and it shows on my face. Wow, that is so painful. And I wish that I had your name on here, but whoever you are that said that, first of all, I'm really sorry that you go through that. And I totally understand that social anxiety can be debilitating, and I have those moments too. I really do, and it's awful. One thing that I do sometimes is I go for like a little walk. So say you're in a social situation when you're at a party or something and it's just too much and you're feeling like really panicky, and you've got like a grip in your chest and you can't get out of your head. Sometimes I go for a little walk. I try and like move my body, find a trusted person that who knows you and tell them what you're going through. Get it out of your own head. If you're having such bad anxiety, I think it may be beneficial to you to talk to somebody about it, because there are many treatments for anxiety. Some of them are medication, but a lot of them aren't. There are a lot of tools for it, and we at Hearth, we're starting to put together resources so that you can turn to those resources and get more information on it. But just know you're not alone. Anxiety is horrendous. A lot of us have it. I've had it like in such inconvenient situations, like at premieres, and the good thing is you can get past it, you can work through it, but it does take some work. The first step really, though, is understanding what it is. It's not a part of who you are. It's not like a character flaw. It's something that you're dealing with. Okay. Are there any plans for a tour? Yeah, we're looking to tour early next year, because I have the Fantastic Beasts whole promo tour happening in November. It kind of makes it hard to do a promo tour, a music tour before the end of the year, although we are going to try and do some shows hopefully before the end of the year, hopefully soon. And if you've read my letter, you know that I'm like, whoa, scared about this. But I'm also really excited because I've started to remember shows where like there was a lot of joy and like this thing that you can't really get from anything else, this like in-person connection. Wow, it's very loud. Can you hear all that? It's a bustling place that we're in. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. I think it's gonna be beautiful. And also I'm excited because now I don't have to hide. Like if I'm having a day where I'm a mess or whatever, I'm gonna talk about it, and then like I don't know, I just feel like that's gonna be quite liberating. Oh, that's a nice question. Do I find that I benefit from having friends around? My friends, well, I didn't read that fast enough, but yes, I think having friends around for any kind of difficulties that you have keeping your mind on your side, I think having your friends by your side it's more than helpful. I think it's pretty necessary, and like if I don't have people like right there with me physically, it's quite hard, but I'll text my friends and be like, I'm in a situation and I'm really overwhelmed and I'm freaking out, and there are certain ones that really know me well and they know how to talk me off the ledge, and yeah, friends are everything. I'm grab. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should keep going off of the previous questions or try and follow this business? This is Leonie, by the way.
Hi.
She's amazing. She's from Germany. I've known her since she was 12. Okay.
Let's see, maybe this. This one.
Do I have a favorite spiritual book or author that's helped me through my journey, and also music that helps lift me up? Yeah, I mean, there are different things for different times, you know, like, I think Pema Chodron is really wonderful. Brene Brown is really wonderful. She talks a lot about shame, and shame has been a real problem for me in my life, leading to hiding and secrecy and all kinds of things. Who else? Oh, I mean, Women Who Run with the Wolves, hands down, has been the most impactful book for me. It's sort of like my Bible of sorts. It's I think it should be read by every woman, young or old. It's very beautiful. And music that helps lift me up. I mean, it depends on the day, but like, I love Angel Olsen so much. I think she's so great. I love Nick Drake. Sometimes I just have to put Whitney Houston on. If it's like one of those days where it's like a sucky day, it's like, I wanna dance with somebody, I wanna feel the heat with somebody. Fixes everything. Just dorky, not dorky, because like Whitney was like the best thing. That let's see. Is I find frenzy no longer a thing? Yeah, you know what? And also, will you note that I've been facing some writer's block? What's your biggest inspiration? I find frenzy was like a pseudonym that I took on when I was younger, because I needed to create music behind something that made me feel safe. I didn't feel safe enough to just be my own self, my own name. I felt very exposed. And also, at that time, which was like a long time ago, like 11, 12 years ago, there was just this, like, I don't know, there was this thing where, like, I felt like I was going to be perceived as a pop star, and I didn't want to be a pop star, so I took a quote from Midsummer Night's Dream, which is pretty much like the anti-pop star, and wrote behind that. And there came a point where, I had some incredible things happen with that name, As a Fine Frenzy, but ultimately it was...
Thank you very much, Glenn.
Oh, yes. Thank you. More food.
Thank you very much.
I had some really incredible things happen, but there was this thing where, like, A Fine Frenzy kind of became One Cell in the Sea. Like, those two were sort of so intertwined, and then anything that I tried to create after that almost seemed to be competing with this first record that I made. And at a certain point, I wanted to break free of that and grow, and it felt like the right time, and so that's why I decided to go with my name. And it's scary because, like, I gotta stick with this now. I only have one name, so I can't, like, really. I mean, I guess I can make up another side project name or whatever, but, like, this is it. This is me. No hiding. Are you catching some of the comments? Oh, you can go back and forth in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Whoa. Look at this. Wait, I'm going to try and scroll. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that you could do this. Okay, wait. do you share your skincare routine? It changes all the time. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the many comments on here. Any tips on how to find a creativity outlet and inspiration? Yeah, I mean, I think with creativity, like, it's really about feeding the art within you. So the easy ways to start are like go to museums, or read beautiful works of literature, or like go see inspiring architecture, or you could even just like start really paying attention to life and like challenging yourself to look around the world and like not see the mundanity and the disappointment and the boringness and whatever, but like find beautiful or interesting things about the world, like the tiny details. And like the more that you do that, I feel like you're feeding your creative soul, and like that's really the way that it begins. And then you just have to create and do it and do it and do it and do it. So whatever your particular medium is, if it's painting, paint. Even if you don't feel like painting, just paint something. Just paint a tree or a box or something. If you're a singer, sing, or if you're a writer, write. The best way to do it really is by doing it, not by thinking about it. The fastest way to like get writer's block or creative block is to just like overthink. I mean, and I'm like a classic overthinker, but yeah, it's almost like you get mental constipation because there's like too much getting stuck in there, nothing coming out. Isn't that just a lovely description? Did you find it more difficult to share your letter with the world than sharing your more personal songs? That's an interesting question. Yeah, I mean, I had a really hard time with the letter. I wrote so many drafts of that letter. As soon as I got my diagnosis and I got okay with it, we just have so many foods coming. As soon as I got my diagnosis, I knew that I wanted to talk about it at some point, because, I went so many years undiagnosed, and I just felt like I wish somebody had said something to me sooner, so I wanted to talk about it, but to find the right tone, to find the right way to speak about it. I mean, I wrote so many pieces. I mean, I wrote like hundreds of pages, and I think part of it was just trying to get my head around it myself, and when I finally shared it, there was this immense sense of relief, like immense, and I still feel it, like something in me is just calmed down, something in me has really been put to rest, and it's incredible. I mean, it's always hard to release a vulnerable song, but there's something really naked about putting out a letter like that, and I really appreciate everybody who was so kind about it, because it just made it so much easier. I'm gonna go back down to where we are now. What is one thing you recently learned about your outlook on something? I've realized that, like, sometimes I just immediately say no. I get scared, and I'm like, I back off. And it's like this inherently fearful, kind of negative way of seeing the world, where like I have a hard time receiving, in a way, things that aren't my idea. And I've just been realizing more and more that, like, saying yes and being open to things and being willing to risk failure and look stupid and do things I'm not comfortable with, that's where like real life and growth and like joy come out of. And so I'm trying to get better at that, of like pausing before I immediately like say no, and just like thinking about it. What should I do if I feel vulnerable about sharing my art? Hi, Erin. I love you. I'm sorry. I just got distracted. I mean, if you feel vulnerable sharing your art, welcome to the club. That's being an artist. I mean, like, nobody that I know goes like, yeah, I feel great. If they're like really putting their heart out there, like, it is vulnerable. It's scary. And like, you know, it's part of the process. You just have to keep going, you know, and try and develop a thicker skin around people's reactions. Like, not around your art, but just try and like let it all, because what I've learned over the years is that, you know, people can put you on a pedestal and say you're like the best thing ever, and they can also say like this is totally terrible and it's crap, and like it kind of doesn't totally fully register either way. Like, it doesn't really change you fundamentally. When you get the highest of the highs, it's sort of like, you guys clearly don't know what you're talking about. And when it's like the lowest of the lows, it's like, it's so mean and it just shuts you down. And like, I just think, you know, you just have to kind of do it for you. Yeah. La 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 la. Miss Leonie is typing up your questions. Fourth thing, everybody, okay, just so I can clarify, because I've seen this question pop up, this is not an engagement ring. It's on my right hand. This is a ring, because I get asked this like constantly. I have a godson. He's very nearly 2, and this is my ring. I'm married to my godson. So yeah, so enough of that. La la la. What is this?
How do you know if you have a mental health illness?
How do you know if you have a mental health illness? Okay. That is a good question. I mean, I think you need to really like take a look at yourself. What are you feeling? You know, what's going on? And if you feel like there's something that's not right, that you don't understand about yourself, talk to a trusted adult that might know, talk to a counselor. There's information online, but I wouldn't go to like a WebMD or something like that. Leonie's actually been compiling really good mental health resources, so we're gonna start putting those things out. And then, you know, see a doctor and talk about what's going on with you, because there's a lot of different things, you know. I mean, you may be going through something right now that may be difficult, it may be acute, or there may be something else underlying that you could get help for. No matter what, though, there's no shame in it, and it's really good to pay attention, to notice what you're feeling, to not try and stuff it down or make it not exist, but to ask for help. What's the story behind Moon? It's a really powerful song, and I'd love to hear how you came up with it. Well, the story behind Moon is quite abstract in a way. It's more of a feeling, the way that I was feeling this particular time. Ali Chant, who produced this record with me and kind of like built the whole record with me and wrote with me and everything, we started creating this song, and there was just something very it had its own gravity, it had its own time and space and feeling, and just like the sounds that we were creating. And I at the time was going through a really, really, really rough point in my life, And I felt this like, in that darkness, I felt this sort of sense of femininity coming up, like this like ancient femininity that I was starting to connect with, that I had never ever connected with before in my life, and like the way that I felt, and I know it kind of sounds cliche, you know, like the way that I felt when I looked at the moon, but I felt it in my gut. I felt this like this sense of history, of legacy of women, of like the mystery of femininity, of the connection of the water in my body rising with the tides, and I just wanted to write something that felt that way, as opposed to being like so linear about it, or so like it'd be like this is the moon and that's what it is, but just like what it felt, yeah, to connect with that, like that part of myself which is in all of us, that mystery, and that's what the moon is, yeah, loosely based on. I saw somebody say, by the way, that they were diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Did I see that? I just wanted to let you know that I know several people with BPD, and I know it is very difficult to live with, but also like the people that I know with it are some of the most creative, extraordinary, beautiful people that I know, and it is hard, but it is possible to manage it, and you just need to just do all the things that you can do with your medication, with all of the ways that you set up your life so that you can stay grounded, but you're not alone, and it's really like, I mean, I've learned so much about it now, and it's a hard thing to live with, but there can be a lot of beauty in there as well. Do you get irritated when fans on the street disturb you for a selfie or for an autograph? No, it's always really sweet and lovely. The only time it's kind of awkward is when it's in a bathroom, that's a bit awkward. Or like if my boyfriend and I are having a fight. BPD is borderline personality. Did I get that wrong? Wait, is BPD bipolar or borderline? I messed up. That was... Oh, thanks, David. He said I explained moon well, but I totally screwed up about... and I don't know as much about borderline personality disorder. But again, I mean, like, we're just learning about all of these different ways that our minds work, and like there's so much to be discovered and found, and again, I just want to like reiterate that it's really important to realize that there is no shame in it, and to get help, and to enlist the help of the people around you, and to really take care of yourself and be gentle with yourself. Someone just said she's not a doctor, y'all. Yeah, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not good with what's the term with the abbreviations? Yeah, I'm not. Anyway, how is Gertie doing? She's great. She's gigantic. Are you finding more that you can see? These things go so quickly. And I'm gonna have to go pretty soon. What do you think we should address? Should we do 2 more questions? Oops. This is like, isn't there a thing on YouTube where you just like sit and watch people eat? But for Rebecca, the big struggle to open up to anyone, to be honest, but I just can't. It's so hard for me because I wish I could talk to someone, but I just can't. What can I do? Well, I mean, have you tried like, let me think. Because I think it really does help when it's not just on you, when it's not just in your, like rattling around in your head what's going on. And I know it's really hard to open up to people. I mean, I have a very, very strong group of friends around me, and I like parsed out what I was going through to kind of each and every one of them, so nobody actually knew just what was going on with me, because it really is, it's vulnerable. But I think, you know, like if you called there's like hotlines and things like that, and if you just started with that, if you called someone even anonymously just to talk, you know, that could be an option. Or find one friend that you think you can talk to. I mean, people can be much more responsive to these kind of things than you knew, and like sorry, I just got stuck with something. I think it really is important to open up. We'll be looking into this, and we'll be talking more about this, about ways, because it is that first step that is really, really difficult, and you do need support. I mean, like familial support, friend support, whatever you can get. And you know, you can also write to us at Hearth, on our Hearth Instagram. You can write directly to us and talk to us first if you want, and we'll do our best, if only just to listen. Did we have a nice trip to the Antarctic? Yeah, it was incredible, absolutely incredible, and like the worst journey to get down there imaginable, but like so majestic when we got down there. Oh, really? Alison Sudol updates? I did not know about that. I did not know about your diagnosis. This is clearly something we need to learn more about. BPD. I need to educate myself more. Okay. Well. Oh, hi, Mom. Where am I? I'm in New York. In New York at the Wing. Thanks for watching. Okay. Anything else that we should cover before going? Okay. So basically, over the next coming weeks, there's going to be music videos. There's going to be more music coming, and just stay tuned. And please join the Hearth. Is it We Are Hearth? Hearth or We Are Hearth Instagram page, because that's just going to be much easier for us to directly communicate with you than on my Alison Sudol Instagram page, which just has a lot of music stuff coming, and I don't want to miss stuff. And we have this really beautiful team at Hearth who want to hear you and who want to talk to you. So please join us there, and thank you so much for being here, and I'll try to do this more often because it's fun. All right, sending you lots of love. Mwah. No, it was a full face kiss. Bye. How do I get out of this? Ooh. I think it's ended.